Robert A. Lovingood thinks about everything he says. He's incredibly articulate. He thinks like a business person. He cares about his district and is spending a lot of time on up here.
I think there's a tremendous opportunity that lies within the county and the state. I do think economically we're at the bottom, and as time as the income associated with housing and economic starts returning, is that we'd be a great steward of those dollars. But the state's going to continue to push things down to us without the funding that the county is going to be responsible for. So we have to work collectively with our municipal governments and also spend these dollars wisely once we start getting a return or an increase back due to economic improvement.
Let me introduce a person that you all know is probably my best friend, a person who I really admire, somebody that's built many successful businesses up here, a person I met standing in the back of a soup kitchen alley downtown Victorville 24 years ago. Robert A. Lovingood is what you see. Robert called nearly a year ago, it was a year ago last Saturday, and said, I'm thinking for running for supervisor. I thought he got the wrong number. I'm sitting with Gary Obed, who I went to China with back in 2006. I said, Gary, so how's he really doing? He said, you know, Joe, Robert thinks about everything he says. He's incredibly articulate. He thinks like a business person. He cares about his district and is spending a lot of time on up here, and we know what he's doing, and he wears a tie every day. And I go, wow, you took it off. I know, just so I could lose my bet. Deb said he wouldn't wear one. He's been the chamber chairman, he's done all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Now's the time that we need somebody representing the private sector and everybody here. And Robert, thank you very much for lending your name to this and your friendship and to helping out, I think, what is one of the most important components we have in my district, and that's students at Victor Valley College. Come on.
I look around the room and I see a number of the people involved in our community that are bringing key components, such as economic development and addressing the needs. And really, they're the employers. They're the reason that we exist. They are, at the end of the day, are the tax base, the reason that I'm here to serve you and things to talk about. So 85 days into this, I can kind of tell you where I am. And I like to say this over and over. It's kind of cute. We figured out where the bathrooms were. We figure out the building where we shouldn't go. And we do get escorted back if we go into the wrong areas, but overall, we're making progress. Now, as we shape our what we see the direction we hope to address, but at the end of the day, the one thing I can share, you can't take it all on. You got to go pick out 3 or 4 areas and look to make a difference there, because realistically, if you're not successful there, you're there for only 4 years, and then you're gone. So the issues we're going to address, we're looking critically at federal and state land issues, and I look at industrial minerals, and I look at Mitsubishi, and I look at successful companies. See, I see this a little differently, folks. I see the right to our natural resources in the desert that we all drive through or fly over. I see that as an absolute citizen's right. Those are our resources, they're taxpayers' resources. We have a right to develop them and then reap the rewards, the long-term jobs, and a vibrant economy that they'll bring to us. So that's one of the issues. You know, and then the very next thing that I like to say that I'm going to focus on, and I think there's going to be a great deal of progress made. Carolyn, how are you? Saw you at 10 this morning, and it's not changed. But when I say that, I look at economic development. You know, unfortunately, from the state down, the state's budget is being balanced on our back. When I say that, so it's a push down of responsibility, and we're not going to give you the money, but we want you to take on the responsibility. We're going to meet that challenge. It's going to take time. And if we're at the bottom, things will start improving. But on economic development, and I wish there were more people that work directly in the office, because we've assembled a great team. But what we're doing with that team and what we're going to do in economic development, we're walking into opportunities with trade associations. We're doing it ourselves. We have a department, but we still believe there's a great opportunity for boots on the ground and to go out and pursue these opportunities and show them exactly what we have to offer. And when Joe talks about the colleges passionately, I say the very same thing. I understand what we export every day. It's the 60 to 80,000 workers, and that's our skilled, trained workforce that leaves to go to the Inland Empire and then drive back home every night. But what frustrates us on a Friday night, because of traffic, We've got to bring the creations of jobs here to them, and that's going to be really another main focus of our issue as we move forward. And when I reach back, the last thing I'd really like to sort of talk about is the team that we have. I think if you call the office and you reach out, I call it boots on the ground, I call it people on the ground. We're out there. We're going to be in the community. We're going to be asking your questions. But it's a two-way street, because if we can't bring back your input, and if you won't step forward and identify the challenges that you have, then we'll fail. We can't address every issue, but we can't address issues unless you tell us about it. And we believe in that accountability of government, and I think the county really brings that to you. I think it's a great opportunity. I was extremely naive about the requirements going forward from what I've stepped in. But I can tell you this, we are there, we're ready to reach out. We want to work with each of you because you're the key component of why we're here, why I think in the end we'll succeed. But with that, I'll conclude. I want to thank Supervisor Ovid in particular. Let me share with you the one thing that I'm seeing that I think I can address is the really desire for the current board to work together. The current board has a commitment to look at the economic development opportunities that we have, and not just look at each district, but look at the entire county and work diligently to develop those. And I think the greatest thing about economic stress is how you look and find different opportunities to be successful. And that's where I think we are, and I think in the next 3 to 5 years when we're back, we're doing the state of the county, and I think we'll all be a little happier, and I think we'll all have progress tomorrow. So I thank you for letting me speak to you today, and I look forward to seeing many of you in the community. Thank you.